Yeah. What was it called when we brought them to that spot? Shaping?
Yes. Yeah. That's the way of teaching without asking them to do anything specific.
Yeah.
It's just kind of them figuring it out.
Can I just put a treat on it before he goes on to get him there?
In like true shaping, no, it would be what you would do is he would look at it and then you would mark and reward onto the place. So he'd have to look at it first officially, because that would almost be a bit of a lure because you're luring him on. Because there's two different kinds of teaching. What we were doing with our sits and our downs and stuff was we were luring them with a treat.
Yeah.
It's a similar kind of idea. So you're using a little bit of a lure to get him going, but then if he's doing the rest of it fine, that's fine too. I mean, you can definitely teach on your place by luring them into all the positions and going that way. It's just nice to sort of try both kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And he seems like he's responding really well to it, so he seems to quit.
Well, yeah. Well, because he was like all over the place, so I was like, how do I get him there?
Yeah, shaping's quite subtle. It's about breaking everything down. So it's like they look at it and you can mark and reward that even, and then when they go over to grab that treat, they're going to end up stepping on it, and then you would mark and reward again. Yeah. It's like breaking everything down very, very subtly.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the demo dog. Wake up, missus. I don't need you.
This week, kind of, Cinnamon and I kind of practice a lot of bonding session because she's only kind of used to listen to Joy. But that's why Joy is not here. He kind of left me and her alone. He's like, you guys need more bonding together.
Yeah.
So it's preferable that you do the session with her. So, yeah.
How's it been going? Are you finding that it's a lot that she's listening more to you and she's doing more things? And
yes, there has definitely been an improvement here.
Good. She's like, oh, you have snacks too. I follow you as well. Okay, you're a snack leader as well.
Yeah. Earlier, because of my work, I was not able to spend a lot of time, but this week I ensured that I keep that separate, but definitely give her time that she requires from my end, so that that definitely helped.
Yeah, absolutely, it does for sure. All right, I think everybody.
Hi, you guys.
Yeah. Hello. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. How's Lito?
He's good.
Good. Seems like everybody's growing pretty big. Like it's not as big as his place before.
He's getting bigger, and he seems to be doing all right. I feel like we still have the same issues that we've had with him. I guess it's just the way it is, like the nipping, the barking at strangers. It's getting better. It is getting better for sure, but it's, that's the only thing we're really complaining about.
Yeah, it definitely does take time, especially with the nipping and stuff. Like, I managed to get it down that Gypsy will now only really bite if she gets overstimulated, frustrated, or needs a wee. But yeah, the nipping, it does take a little bit of time for them to get kind of through that. It's just being consistent with it and keeping going with the things that you're working on. Were we talking last week about playing Find It before he starts barking at people? Was that last week? Or
Yep.
Has that been helping a little bit?
It is. Like, the more we go out, the better it gets. So I kind of feel like that. So when we go out, like, I've been using your suggestions of like that diversion, like when there's a stranger, just have something handy, and I feel like that's good. That works. Good. And I feel also that I'm not really concerned about it because it seems to me that it's normal, because the more he sees people, I feel the better it'll get.
Yeah.
He might also be a bit of a barker. Like, he's got that terrier. I don't know.
Yeah, I got that terrier. I mean, it might be as well. He was a bit nervous about those people on the street and stuff. And then the more he sees them, the more he figures out. And the more he figures out that, oh, when I see people, it's almost counter conditioning that you're doing. And when I see people, good things happen. So I don't need to worry about them and bark at them anymore. So it could just be a case of that. And the more consistent you are with it, the more you won't need. The more he's getting used to, oh, people are fine, people are okay, I don't need to yell at them.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the more he gets used to it, it seems okay. And then like when we take him for a walk, when he's in the mood to walk, and we all go,
yeah,
we walk by tons of people in the park, he doesn't bark at anybody. So there's moments,
Yeah, and I definitely find that if I'm walking her and she's overtired or she's just not into it, it's a lot more of a battle, or I end up getting overstimulated too quickly and stuff like that. And the same with all of them. If they're not Yeah, if there's other things going on in the day that have like, you know, stressed them out or tired them out even, it's like walking an overtired toddler or so if you're going at the wrong time. So
I found the same with Maui too. He's starting to find his bark. And so it's when people come ring the doorbell, he barks.
Yeah.
And if he sees like someone come in and unexpectedly, maybe they just open the door and he'll hear them and he'll go and bark. But I did try yesterday when someone did come over with Leave It. So he did get distracted with that. So I found that worked.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
With sorry, with Leave It or with Find It?
Oh, sorry, Find It. Yeah. Definitely not Leave It. We're not there yet.
That's what we're gonna do today.
Yeah. Leave It.
Yeah. I was like distracted by Leave It. That sounds yeah. Find It. I do find that works. What I would probably also recommend that you guys do, and I've done it with her, is if you write down or you decide what do I want my puppy to do when? So what do I want my puppy to do when someone comes in? What do I want my puppy to do when she sees someone on the street? If you figure out kind of what you want them to do, and then just make sure that you're consistent in doing those things. So if you want, if you want Maui to go to his place when someone comes in until he's told to go and say hi, start practicing with him going to his place when the doorbell's rang. If there are two of you at home, it's a really helpful thing. One of you could almost stand there and ring the doorbell outside while the other one takes him to his place. And then what you end up with is the doorbell becomes the cue for go and lay on your place and get something.
Oh, I like that.
So that's something else that you could definitely do with your place.
Can I ask you guys something? How's the bell training going? The potty training with the bell.
Oh, it's excellent. I mean, if we don't get there in enough time, he has no patience and he'll go right at the door.
I had to go.
And like we have like 5 levels. It's a split. So if we're like upstairs and he gets here before us and he rings it, and we don't hear it, you know. But like usually we keep an eye on him and it works. He won't go on walks though.
Yeah, that's something that will come, I guess, with time as well.
Yeah, like he goes, if he goes for a really long walk, he will, because he has to go. But like if I take him in the morning, I'm like, okay, potty, he won't. And then we come back inside and then he'll run to the back door, you know, paw up the thing and off he goes in the backyard.
Do you have it like hanging? Do you have the bell hanging from something?
Yeah, so just by the door, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. It's just hanging by the handle.
Because I have something like that too that I was thinking of trying. Like he's good at going to the bathroom outside because we just have a sliding door. It's on the main floor. Yeah. I like that. I want to try that. I have something that I think he can use. It's like a bell that hangs.
Yeah, I just went from Amazon. I got two of these for like $20.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, well, we are yet to try that with Cinnamon for the bell thing, because right now she goes to the balcony door, she kind of stands and she looks at us, so we know that okay, she wants to go out. Try a little bit with touch, so she's getting kind of a little used to it. But then definitely, like, you know, that's something is yet to be done.
Yeah, what you're working on. Do you have a bell as well, or?
Yes, we have one. It's not that long. So yeah, we are facing that difficulty. But Joyce actually went out, so he's gonna get one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bells are super helpful to let you know, because if ever you're not in the room and she goes to the door and you're not there to look at her, then that's sort of tricky as well. The bell's nice if you can, because it always lets you know that they're there and they want to go. So definitely very helpful.
And I have another question. Sorry, you guys. It's about the split elk antlers. Like someone had suggested to us as a way of teething, oh, go get them a split elk antler. But then when I was reading about it, it says you have to be careful because it can crack their teeth.
I think Wally's still going through his puppy teeth, and his adult teeth are still just coming in until they're strong. You want to sort of be wary of things that are very hard and don't have any give to them. So if you can sort of dig your nails into whatever it is and get a bit of give, that can kind of give an indication of if it's good for the younger teeth.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd go with that. So just be careful of things like that. I guess. It'll be good down the line if you can get them into it. Some of them aren't even that. If it's too hard, they might not even enjoy really chewing on it because they can't really get into it.
Yeah.
Having that extra having that little bit of a gift to give to sort of give back kind of thing.
Yes, good boy. Good boy.
The
High five.
sweet, I mean, I like the sweet potato chews are pretty good because they're a bit softer. I even think I haven't grabbed one for a bit, but I think a pizzle has a little bit of a give to it as well. So
Yeah.
that work well, like the little pizzles. Those are pretty good too, and they last, in theory, last a bit of time depending on how aggressive the chewer he is.
I found I went to Pet Value and they had a no hide bone.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Yeah, and so it kind of, I mean, you still have to watch them, but like for his teeth, like this is pretty soft now from him like sucking on it too.
Yeah.
It looks disgusting now, but it was like this long
Yeah.
for a puppy. Yo, look at, he wants it.
The other thing actually is the Whimsies are pretty good too. You know, I don't know if you've seen those. They're kind of got a bunch of ridges. I think they're made of like vegetable stuff, but they're a little softer and they're pretty good for them too. You can actually make them a bit trickier because there's ridges in them. You can almost smear something tasty in them, like banana, peanut butter, whatever. And then you can. The puppy ones are very soft, and I found that just did not help with teething because they just went whoop straight down. But the adulty ones, they're still a bit soft. You can freeze them so that they get softer as they're chewing. So the Whimsies are pretty good for that too.
Whimsies.
Yeah, or Greenies, Whimsies. I think it's a Whimsy I'm thinking of.
And I used that thing, I think you guys suggested it I got like a washcloth. Well, actually it was just a rag a towel that I cut, but I think a washcloth would be better. And I soaked it in beef broth and froze it.
Yeah.
And then he loved it. And I mean, it was a bit messy when it started melting because he brings it onto the carpet and stuff, but
sorry.
I thought that was good advice because it was free.
Yeah.
It's cheap, it's healthy, and it really worked. When it was frozen, he really, really liked it. And it probably something on his. So I want to get some washcloths, maybe order a pack that I just use for that.
Yeah, for sure. Those are good. They're good. It's a good thing if you can get them into it, for sure. She was never that into it. What is Cinnamon got her back legs on the couch? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Weird positioning of Cinnamon there.
Yeah, sometimes she kind of hang in there to stretch.
I saw that.
Which one?
All right. Is there any more questions? Anything else you want we could go over, or before we start officially?
Down. Good boy.
We're good. All right. So let's get started off. Just like Lito is there. We'll start off with a few of those puppy push-ups. We'll just sort of get them working, get their brain into like we're working brain. So we'll do those puppy push-ups, which is that sit to a down to a sit. If right now, I think last week we were adding in the verbal cue. So if you can do a few with a hand signal and a verbal, so give your verbal sit, then show it down, down, and then sit again. And then if you can,
sit.
I don't know where you're at with your verbal cues. If you can do a whole puppy push-up with a sit down sit with no hand signals, you could try that if you're at that point. If you're not there yet, then don't do that. So let's just go at the
You're
pace.
having a lure?
Yeah.
You can start with a lure, just do a couple with the lure, and then drop the lure.
Down. Down. Yes.
Yes, good job, Lito.
Sit. Sit.
Yes, good girl.
And then show him.
Sit. Yes.
Yes, good job. Yeah, if you do a few with the lure first, that's fine.
Down. Sit. Yes.
Yes.
Good boy.
Boy.
Sit. Sit, Lido.
Down.
Sit. Yes. Okay.
Sit.
Now, lay down. Lay down.
Sit.
Good.
Yes. Down.
Cinnamon.
Okay, let's try.
Down.
Okay,
Yeah.
sit. Good. Now,
Yep.
lay down. Lay down. Yes. Now sit.
Sit.
Lido, sit.
Good.
Nice.
Oh, that was the funniest little sit from Lito. Like, I'll
Yeah.
sit backwards.
Lay down. Lay down.
Yes.
Good job, Maui.
Lay down, Lido.
Sit.
Yeah.
Good boy. Good boy.
Alright.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Good girl.
Boy.
How about stand?
And
Down. Sit.
yes. Good
Sit
girl.
down. Lay down. Yes.
Yo, touch.
Good job.
Down.
Sit.
Yes. Good boy.
Good job, Maui. I saw that with no treat in your hand too. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's harder getting back up again.
He's been really funny this week because he was pretty good the week before with going up into his sit, but now he's like playing like.
Do I have to?
Like,
Yes.
Yeah, for that one, even just go back a step and always reward that movement, and just yes, and then reward.
Yeah,
Get
yeah, okay.
real quick. Make it a fun thing to do.
Like,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
Yes.
like.
All right. So do maybe two more or one more of those, and then we'll do another little review. I would use my my demo dog, but she's demoed.
Yes. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. That actually helped.
Good. It's a super tricky one. I had to do that with touch because I thought that was a fun one she would like.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So Lido, lay down. Lay down.
Find it.
Lay down.
Find it. Where is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I might have pushed everybody a bit too far. So we'll keep doing the hand signal and the verbal for now, and then we'll keep working on that, and then maybe next week or so we can try and drop that verbal. So what I would do this week is say your verbal, give it a beat, and then show your hand signal, because they may, and if they do drop in without the hand signal, mark and reward that. But we'll be ready to offer that hand signal as well to help them out.
Time. Time.
And if you can, when you're doing your verbal, say your verbal once. If they don't do it, then show that hand signal, so we're not repeating ourselves too much. All right, so we've done a few of those. So now let's try those stand-ups. So we're gonna do what we were doing with the puppy push-up. We were doing a sit down sit. Now we're gonna do some stand-ups. So that's because we're doing that last week. We're doing stand, I think, right? So we'll do sit to a stand to a sit, or a stand down to a stand to a down, to see if we can get them mixing up their movements. Okay. What can happen with our puppy push-ups, and if I explained this last week, I apologize, is that they can learn they can learn the chain of things. They can learn a sit down sit, and if so, they sort of automatically assume that you're going to ask that down, so they'll do that sit down sit as a chain. So we're going to break it up and show them that a sit is one thing, a stand is another thing, and a down is another thing. So if we can kind of throw in some stands into that puppy push-up sequence, we can begin to learn what those things are. So for now, we'll just do sit, stand, sit,
Yes.
or down, stand, down.
Stand.
Oh, I get words muddled up.
Down.
Yes. Good.
Stand.
We'll just do a couple of these.
Okay.
Down.
Oopsies.
Stand. Stand.
Sit. Yes. Good.
And if you weren't adding the verbal last week for your stand, you can go ahead and add that verbal now too. So same idea, stand, show the hand signal,
Stand.
happens, mark and reward.
Yes.
Stand.
Good.
Good. Perfect.
Sit.
So stand.
Yeah, good job, Maui.
Lido.
Yes.
Good.
Good boy, Lito.
Boy.
Stand. Cinnamon stand. Stand.
Stand.
No. Yeah.
You said kissed, right?
Sit. Yes.
All right, so again, we'll just do maybe one more of those, and then we'll just do a quick review of our touches, see where everyone's at with that.
Stand.
Good. Stand.
Boy.
Stand.
Good boy.
Cinnamon stand. Stand.
Stand.
Stand.
Stand.
Yes.
Good girl.
Stand.
Good. Great.
All right. And then so last week we were doing touch. We did a review of touch, and we were adding in some movement with touch. Is that what we were doing last week?
Yep.
Were we doing more than one?
Difficult for them, like a little bit.
The movement for the touch. It is a little tricky, yeah.
Yes.
Are you guys adding in movement with the touch, so getting them to move their whole body and stuff?
Touch.
Perfect. Were we doing one more, like multiple touches for one treat?
Touch.
I think so. Yep.
If we weren't doing that, we'll do that now. So
Touch.
touch, treat.
Touch. 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 Touch.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Touch. Good. Touch.
Good job. And just like Artemis is doing there, if you want to add sort of kind of like an intermediate marker. So if your marker that means you're getting a reward is yes. If you want to add, say, a good in between, so touch, good, touch, yes. you can definitely do that to let them know that you're still engaging with them and you're still there. So.
Yes. Good. Good.
Actually,
Your touch. Yes.
All right, I think everyone's getting a little tired, so maybe we'll do, once we've done a couple of touches, we'll do a little bit of a play or a little bit of you know, massage or a cuddle or whatever it is that they're wanting as a break, or a find it break, or something to give them a little bit of a break, because I think the touches would be a little easier if we wanted to.
find it.
Touch.
Find it.
Yes. Good. Good.
What, baby? Yes, good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. Who's a good boy? Yeah. Oh, cute little monkey. Oh, so cute. Oh, so cute. Oh
Boy.
my god. Oh my god.
Good boy. Find it.
Wow.
Find it.
All right, here.
Good. Good. Cinnamon, find it. Yo. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Cinnamon, find it. Yeah, you find it.
Yeah.
Nibble.
Yeah.
Up on you, Alice. Waking you up out of your sleep. Out of your sleep.
Like. Yes.
Good.
Find it. There it is. Can't you see it? Look, right there.
Sit. Sit.
Good job. One last thing, because were we talking about spin last week, getting them to move with that movement, getting them to do a full spin? I think I'd mentioned that. It's kind of like, it's a bit further down the line if we're not at the multiple touches for a treat or the movement with the treat. So that's probably a bit of a tricky one. So you can definitely still work. If you've been working on that, you can definitely still work on that movement around. And that would be kind of over here. She's super tired, so I would do touch. Yes. Okay, scroll around. Touch. Good. Touch.
Aw.
Good. Touch.
Touch.
Good.
Yes. So you can ask them to do that, but that's something to still work on with your
Touch.
with your touches with movement or your multiple touches. The other thing that's kind of got a touch base, if anyone's interested in learning another little touch one, would be that that snoot, where they put their nose through your hands. They put their little nose through. I need to remember that one. It's similar to a touch, so they may well, similar idea, if you start to show it to them, the chances are they're going to kind of maybe boop near it to sort of check your hands out. And you could even add the word touch to get them to do it. And then you would just say yes and reward every time that they sort of boop near. And you can almost like shape them, putting their hands through that, then your nose through your hands. So it's kind of a fun little one that you can add in with that similar kind of a touch basis. Dipsy always bites my fingers though.
Yes. Good boy.
Kind of a cute one to do with that touch. Cute to make it different. You might need to put it right close to his face.
What's that?
You might need to put it sort of right close, right away. Yes.
Touch.
Yes.
Yes.
I would even mark him with that. So as it gets closer and closer to like putting his full nose through. And then when they're putting their full nose through, yes. What you can do is, toss that treat away as the reward. Yes. They have to come back. So they're coming across the room to put their nose in. So it's kind of if you want to get a cute picture as your dog coming in, it's kind of got that touch basis, so it's kind of cute.
Go.
And then when she comes back, put your hands
Sit.
and see if you put her nose straight through.
Lido, sit.
Woo, there you go.
Touch. Yes.
Good.
Good boy.
It's not really a useful base for this one. It's just for fun.
Down.
Fun. Yeah.
Yes.
Touch. Yes.
No. Sit. Sit. Off.
Yes.
Off. Off. Lido. Off.
With Lito, I would even just stand straight up if he's not. Yeah, there you go. He backed off, but if he's doing that and he won't get off you, I would even just stand right up and turn around. Or wait, like kneeling like this, I would even just turn my body sideways. Like, nope, no thanks, get off.
Touch.
Woo! Full spin, Maui. Good job.
Yeah.
Full spin, Lito. With mom spinning as well.
Here.
All right, perfect. That's just a little, I just had that written down like, oh, it's kind of a fun one to do. So the next thing we're going to do is a watch me. So you may have been using look at me or look at me or focus. I think someone else has said focus with their dog. It's basically having your dog look away from something that they want or something that they're interested in and look back at you instead. So it's a really nice one to encourage that natural check-ins, when they're to look at you, encourage those check-ins, encourage that engagement with your face and stuff too. The way we're going to start off, we're obviously going to start off with a treat, as always. I'm actually going to have 2 treats. I'm going to put one behind my back and one I'm going to have in my hand. I'm going to have one in my hand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the treat up to kind of eye line. So I like to think like I'm a little teapot and mine's kind of out here. And basically what I'm expecting her to do is look away from the treat that's in my hand and look at my face. So I like to have it this kind of far away and not too close and not too far. So if it's too close, I might not see that eye movement flicker across. So I like kind of here so I can see that distinct eye movement across. And the moment that I get that eye contact, I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to reward with the one from behind my back. So that's kind of what it looks like. I'm going to bring the show that I have the treat, bring it up. I'm going to say watch me, yes. And I'm going to give her the treat as she looks at me. I'm going to trust that your puppies are looking at you.
Watch me. Yes.
Sit.
So what if they're looking at the treat, or do they have to make eye contact or somewhere?
So it's going to be a bit of a patience game. So you're going to be waiting them out. They're going to look at the treat, look at the treat, look at the treat. Eventually, they're going to look at you and be like, "What do you want me to do?" And then when you get that, them looking at you, you're going to yes, and then you're going to reward.
Okay.
Yes.
You may find that they sit down, roll over, do all the things because they're like, "What do you want me to do?" They'll try a bunch of things, and eventually they'll just look at you out of exasperation.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Watch me. Yes.
Good job. And again, if you're using look at me or you want to use that because that comes out easier, go ahead and use look at me, but just keep it consistent.
Good.
Look at me.
Watch me.
A very short split second where he like shifted his eyes.
Yeah, and that's perfect. Just capture that, and then that will get longer. That you can.
Yes.
Now we're going to do
That's
short
the point.
movements, and then we get that. We can encourage it longer later.
Watch me. Yes. Good girl.
Look at me.
Watch me. Cinnamon. Watch me.
Good.
Watch me.
Watch me.
I guess I should say watch me.
Watch me.
Okay.
Yeah, if your hands up here, I would say watch me.
Yeah.
And then I'm waiting for the eye movement. But I'm only going to say watch me one time. I don't want to have to repeat myself a lot. I'm going to say watch me once, and I'm going to wait. And it might take a while.
Okay, this is a staring contest.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend like staring down or asking for eye contact from like strange dogs that we don't know, because eye contact can be quite intimidating.
Yes.
But with our puppies, and we just get in that split second, and we're making it kind of an enjoyable thing for them.
Watch me. Yes.
Watch me.
Good boy. Watch me. Yes.
Good boy. Off. Yes.
Watch me.
Watch me. Yes.
Yes. Good.
Sit. Watch me.
Watch me.
Off.
Yes. Good. Watch me.
Watch me.
You don't watch me. Yes. Watch me.
Not till that Cinnamon's frozen in the screen, or if she's actually just staying still. There you go. I was like, did you guys freeze, or is she just staying that still? If that one's going really well, it looks like it is. It looks like everyone's getting some good eye contact.
Yeah.
What you can do now, if you want to make it a little bit trickier, is this time with our 2 treats, we're going to actually have 2 treats for them to look at or look away from. So we're actually going to bring 2 treats up, and now they have to pick. Their eyes are going to really bounce between which one, and then when you get that eye contact to your face, is when you say yes, and you're going to obviously have to reward with one of them.
Watch me.
just to make that trickier. But I normally would introduce this next week, but everyone's doing really well. So what I would do is again show the treats. Watch me,
Yes. Good job, Lido.
and then you give the
So
treat.
when he looks at you, you give the treat because he's
Yeah.
gonna look at both. Okay.
Yeah, you might find that he
Watch,
avoids you and looks at both treats, and then eventually looks at you instead. So
watch me. Yes. Yeah. Watch
yeah,
me.
there you go.
She looks at me with a side eye, like she's like, okay, now give it to me.
Can I? Because I don't really want to take my eyes off it in case you move it, but
Watch me.
Is it the same thing with leave it?
with leave it, what we'll do right now is we'll do a leave it and make it.
Watch me.
It depends on how you're using leave it. So for me, a leave it is don't pick up that item if you haven't already, or if you have it, please drop it. Like it means the same thing to me.
Yeah.
That also can be off. Some people say off, like stay off the item. It depends on what you're asking for. If you mean like do you mean like leave it, like leave that thing alone but look at me instead? Because what I would build that in, because that's almost like two skills in one, and that's kind of going to be tricky for them.
Well, one thing is, like, for example, I want him to like to get off, like if he's gnawing at our ankles or something like that, I guess I could say off, like I've kind of been saying off.
Okay.
When he has something in his mouth and we want him to drop it, we say leave it.
Right, yeah. So I would go that way around too.
Okay.
My off is like
Watch me.
off of the counter or off of the couch, off of the stuff. So what you could do, if he's gnawing on your ankles, it's a similar kind of thing of letting go of something that he wants to hold. So you could go ahead and use leave it there as well.
Right. Okay.
We're going to go through that now, actually. So if you want to have give you probably a quick break, so do a quick find it, quick play or something, and then we'll go through. There's kind of 4 different ways that I want to go through a leave it. One with toys and one that we can generalize to other things. So we'll do a little bit of that now. Or when you've had a bit of a play or they've had a bit of a break.
Yeah, this is something which is like the most important thing I want to learn.
So leave it?
Leave it. Yeah, she never.
She's a lab, right?
Yeah. Come, you play. Yep. Get the ball. There's the ball. The ball. There's the ball. Get the ball. There's the ball. Yup.
Stop. Good boy. Go biting. Go biting.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Laziest playtime ever.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna try
Come on.
Lazy playtime.
Get it.
Yes. Good. Yeah.
What do you think of tick medication?
Tick medication? So like the
vaccine, I guess.
sorry?
There's like a vaccine, I think.
I think it's it comes in with like comes in with the flea and the everything else. I usually use the one that goes in the back of the neck. I think it's I want to say Advantage.
Yeah.
In the past, but I have a feeling there might be something else. I mean, right at supposedly at this time of year, we're not as worried about them. Usually you get a 6-month period of it from,
Yes.
I guess down here it's kind of like May to October time, but I think the period is because it's getting warmer, it's extending. But usually, I think your vet usually will give it to you around around the start of the spring when the ticks start to come out more and the fleas and stuff.
I
And it's usually the one that goes in the back of the neck, like
is it a shot?
no, it's like a liquid. From what I remember, the stuff that I've used before is a liquid. I think they're trialing other stuff. There might be like an edible one that they take.
Yeah, I just hear some horror stories like dogs getting seizures or breeders like don't give it to them, but I'm like, well, what if he gets a tick? Like I just get mixed reviews. So
Yeah, I mean, I've always used the Advantage and stuff. You want to put it kind of where they can't lick at it, because that could make them because if they lick at it, it can make them kind of numb, like a numb mouth.
yeah.
But yeah, I've always used it on my cats and my dogs, and I've never had a bad experience with the stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's
Put it on
different.
every day.
There are different brands and stuff. If you're worried, they might be able to do like an allergy test or something. Maybe they can check.
Yeah.
If you want, you could try it and see how it goes, kind of thing. But I've always gone with
The
with
Advantage.
Advantage or I know they give us one for heartworm as well, which I'm trying to think the last, because I used to live in Sudbury and it was always the Advantage stuff that you put on the neck, or was it Advantage or Heartguard?
He's trying to hunt me.
Oh, I'm bored. Can we do something?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always used it and I've never had any personal experiences with anybody that's had an issue with using it. But I like you. I'd rather have that peace of mind, because I always get fluffy dogs that I wouldn't see a tick on if they did have it, and some of the ticks and stuff are carrying some pretty nasty things right now. So I'd rather not have to worry about her getting something. So I worry more about it in the springtime, because in theory the ticks aren't supposed to be active right now. So as soon as the weather
I try to keep them just in trails, like not to go into tall grasses or
Yeah.
You never know. So
yeah, those things are a little gross. So I think the tick stuff, it just encourages them not to bite, I think, or that they don't want to bite and latch on.
Like pellet
beyond them, kind of thing. Yeah. But I've always used something it's either an edible. I think the last couple of years was an edible one because it had heartworm prevention in it as well. But then it's one of everything. It's got everything in it.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's definitely, if you're worried about it, I'd definitely chat to the vet about the different side effects and different things that could come up with it.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's know more about the more recent medications, I guess.
Yeah. Newer ones.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on and do some of that. Leave it that off. So as we were just talking with Artemis there, you basically just pick a cue that you want to use. I use Leave It. I know Jen, Sarah, and Ali all use Leave It as like, if I have something that I don't want you to touch, I'm going to say leave it, don't touch it. If you haven't grabbed that thing yet, just leave it, don't touch it. If you're holding on to me and you're holding on to something I don't want you to hold, I'm going to say leave it, let go of it. That's my Leave It. I know our head trainer Jen uses the word off. So she uses that for the same thing, like don't touch it if you haven't yet. If you already have it, let go of it. That's her off command. We use leave it. Whichever one you want to use, leave it or off, go ahead and pick one, stay consistent with it.
Like we're playing and we're playing tug of war and I want to throw it, but he's just like fighting me with it. That's when I'd say leave it.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to do that in a second. We're just going to work on, don't chew my books. We're going to just do it. There's sort of 4 different ways I like to do it. There's 2 using a treat or using food, and then there's 2 with a toy. Because leave it is also, if I drop something from the counter, some food that I don't want her to grab, I can say leave it, as in don't touch it. Or if I'm out on the street and she finds a piece of pizza, or in the case of this morning, she finds a dead fish, I want to be able to say leave it, so she doesn't pick it up and try and swallow it. So that's kind of why we use I wanted to associate it with food as well as a toy or something that I may have already grabbed in my mouth. So we're gonna can you not bite things, chew those things, please? So to start off with, we're gonna start off with everything. As with everything, we're gonna start off with it very easy, very simple. We're also, when we learn leave it, we also learn a take it cue. there's a couple of different, well, there's a reason we use the word take it as well, because sometimes they do get to take that thing back. So if you're playing with them and you want to get them to let go of it and then take the thing back, you want to be able to say take it. Or if you want them to take that treat that's on the ground that you've left for them, you want them to be able to go and get it, you would say take it. Sometimes they're not going to be able to get that thing back. And I really want to teach my dog that even though I've said yes, that doesn't mean go back in and grab that same thing. If I don't say take it, don't go for that thing, come to me instead. So we're going to actually be learning leave it. Ooh, that's not a good place to bite. I'm going to say leave it. For the first sort of iteration of this, I'm going to say leave it and take it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little treat in my hand. I'm going to show her that I have it. I'm going to close my fist up. You probably won't see this from her, but what your puppy might do is ignore at your hand and try and get at that treat in your hand. You're going to say leave it, and then you're waiting for them to back off. So your hand's going to stay very, very still, very, very steady. I'm not going to be pulling my hand away. I want her to move her own head away. So I'm going to show her, I'm going to say leave it. Yes, take it. And the moment she moves her head back, even if it's for a split second, I'm going to say yes and take it, because she gets to have this treat that's in my hand. And this is this way of doing it. So practice that a little bit first. So I'll show you again a little bit more easier where she's not like right in front of the camera. I'm going to show you. I'm going to say leave it and wait. Yes, take it. Does that make sense? So because she gets to have that treat, we're going to say leave it. Yes, take it. So give that a bit of a go.
Yes.
Good buddy.
Yes. Leave it. Yes.
Leave.
He's like, maybe show it, like open your fist up, show it to him,
Leave it.
and then say leave it.
Good boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then perfect. He's just got good control already. So
He's like,
I don't know if I want it. Yeah. And I mean, you start off with stuff that maybe they're not so interested in, then you can make it more interesting with like a smelly piece of hot dog or something, or some cheese.
Toledo.
Yes.
Leave.
It.
Yes, take it.
Yes. Good boy.
Take it. Good boy. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Off.
Take it.
Off.
Leave. Cinnamon, leave. Good girl. Take it.
Oh yeah. Find it.
So you don't know the level of my happiness when she leaves it.
Yeah, he just
Biting off my hand these days because of her toothing issues, yes. But
yeah,
she loves biting my hand since her childhood.
Good boy.
yeah.
So that is something, it becomes so difficult to make her leave. But if you listen to this, nothing like
Yeah, this is like a good way of also don't bite my hands for things. So puppies aren't born with good impulse control. They're like kids, I want it and I want it now. So they don't learn that. So we want to teach them that the only way they get these things is through having a bit of patience. So don't bite my hand off or you don't get it. She's gone for a wander now, eh?
Sign gets another thing. Yeah. 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 Okay.
Leave
Sit.
it. Good.
Sit.
Here, you want to try this?
Leave.
Okay, he's looking at me. He's like, yeah, I'm good.
I don't want that one anyway. So if he's already really good at that one, that's good.
Yes.
Okay. Leave.
Good.
Perfect. So the next one, we'll just move on to the next one. The next one is going to be very, very similar, except that I'm not going to say the word take it. And so because I'm not saying take it, it means that you don't get to have this thing. So I'm actually going to reward with a different treat. So I'm going to show the treat in my hand. I'm going to say leave it. When they leave it, I'm going to say yes, remove that one and give them a different one. Because I want her to learn that she doesn't always have to go, she doesn't always get to go in and get that treat. So if it is, that piece of pizza on the street, I want to say leave it. I don't want her to go in and get it. Yes, find it.
Leave.
So I'll show you what that kind of looks like. I usually put the one I'm not working with behind my back just to make that a bit easier.
Leave.
So I would say leave it.
Yes. Leave it.
The other one.
Leave it.
So we're learning that take it means go and get that other one. That go and get that treat. No take it means wait for something else to come.
Good. You ready?
Yes.
Leave it. Yes.
Leave. Cinnamon, leave.
Leave it.
Leave.
Leave it.
So we will do items in just a minute there, in Rohit too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Gypsy, leave it. Yes.
Leave it.
Hmm?
Yes.
Leave it.
Yes.
Take it.
The receipt one.
Good boy. Good boy.
01.
So when you're practicing this, you can practice a couple of different. You can either practice the take it as well as the don't take it kind of thing. Take the other treat from the behind your back.
Yeah.
Leave it. Yes.
Sit. Down.
Leave it. And
Looks
off.
like it's going really well.
Off.
Yes, good boy.
Particularly for Maui, who's just totally not interested.
Leave it.
He's like, I will leave it.
I don't want that. Alito looks like he's doing pretty well with it as well.
Yeah.
So what you can start to do, right now we have that closed fist. What we're actually going to start to do is start to open up your fist to make it more tricky for them. But we don't want to be moving our hand away. If they go for it, we're just going to close your hand back up again. So I would say leave it.
Leave.
It.
Take it. And every time she goes back in to get it, I'm going to close it up until I have that second of me having a hand open. Even if it's open just like this, not like fully open, if it's like this, if they can stay off of it in that case, yes, take it.
Yes, take it.
Does that make sense? So I would say leave it and start to open. Yes, take it. We've done it a lot.
Oh, okay.
So if she had gone back in, I'd just close it up. I wouldn't move my hand. I'm just going to close it back up. I'm just going to communicate with my own body. I'm not going to say leave it more than once. I'm going to communicate with my hand signal.
Yeah.
You don't get it until you say it.
And
Take it.
Good job. Good job, Maui.
okay.
Like, I can I?
He's like, are you sure?
You said leave it.
You gotta leave it.
Cinnamon.
Off.
Leave.
Leave it.
Leave.
Leave it.
Leave it.
Leave.
Like, don't bite like a crazy.
Take it. Yes, good boy.
Take it. Oh,
I've been practicing with putting a treat on the ground and telling him to wait.
Okay, perfect. That's a similar thing. Usually on the ground, that's like the next sort of more advanced level, I guess, is going to the ground. So when you're doing your open palm, you would slowly bring it closer to the ground, makes it more attainable for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good. That's kind of like the next sort of step. But, so that makes sense why he's doing so well with it in your hand.
Stay.
Leave it.
Leave.
Leave it. Leave
You
it.
want to pull, right?
Leave it.
It.
Take it.
Stay. Stay.
Yes, good boy.
Okay.
It.
Stay. Yes.
Good
So
girl.
we'll do just one more of those, and then maybe do a little bit of a quick play because it looks like
Leave it.
one of them, Lito's getting a bit like he
Leave
wants to play.
Leave it.
Stay.
No, you're not getting it. You have to leave it. Be patient.
it.
Yes, good job. Good job rating him out too with Lito.
Good.
Take it.
So you can have a little bit of a play or a little bit
Yes.
of something because it looks like they're getting a little bit tired.
I was able to go down the floor.
Good, fantastic.
Trouble. What are we gonna do with you? You're a troublemaker.
Some days when she doesn't take a nap like in the morning around that time, by this time she's all like tired. That's why we were like, okay, we'll see if she plays. If she like right now she's doing good. If she's tired, then I'll only listen to things and like stuff, and then I'll teach her later.
Yeah, so I'll just pay attention and we'll do it. Yeah, she's
Also, one
I had to wake
one
Gypsy up. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. One thing I want to ask, if you can send those recordings, right, the previous one and this session one, just in case we may have missed something, we can like go back and practice that over the week.
Yeah, of course, no worries. It'll be a link to a YouTube because we put them up onto YouTube, but they're all like unlisted, so only you can get into it if you have the code. So I mean the link. So I'll send those up. That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Okay, no problem. I can do that.
Come on.
All right. Oh, I'll let Cinnamon come back.
Cinnamon, where are you? Where is Cinnamon? Cinnamon!
She's like, I'm right here, dude.
Here is Cinnamon!
There she is.
It's all active.
All right. So actually, before I get into the toy bit, one thing that you definitely that we're going to move on to, or sort of down the line, what we'll move on to with that leave it and take it in that way, is also generalizing that leave it to other items that they don't get to have. So that could be if your puppy really likes tissue or laces or socks, you could go ahead and do those leave its with those socks and those items, but go back to, I would pick something squishable that you can squish into your hand to go back to that level of it. And then slowly begin to generalize that leave it means leave it if it's a sock or a lace or something else. But start easier whenever you're adding in those fun items like tissues and stuff like that. So the other kind of leave it and take it that we would do is when we're playing with toys, when they have something already in their mouth, we want them to let go of it. So to start to practice that, I would definitely see if you can get them interested in a toy that they can play tug with and they're getting enjoyed of that. I'll see if I can get Gypsy into it. But the idea being is that we're gonna be playing that tug. When we're playing, the toy's alive, it's really fun. We're gonna be playing with it. And then I'm gonna say that leave it. And when I say that leave it, I'm gonna make the toy go dead. So the toy starts moving. I actually even gather up as much of it as I can. So if my mouth is here, I'll gather it all up. Kind of, if I can bring it in, so I don't even, if it's out in front, I'm still getting that kind of tug action. It's still kind of fun. I'm gonna kind of bring it all in, make it really dead. The moment they kind of loosen even a little bit, or they, excuse me, or they let go of it, I'm gonna say yes, take it, and then the toy becomes alive again. So I'll see if I can get her to play. She's interested in it. I'm gonna get her interested. I'm gonna go tugging on it.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna say, leave it and hold it still. Yes, take it. And then we can play again. So you may only get like a loosening of the jaw a little bit to start off with.
Leave it. Leave it.
Leave it.
Leave it.
If your pup really likes balls instead and you want to do throw it, when you say if they love to chase it,
Leave
if
it.
you can hold that ball still, say leave it. And when they let go, toss it, and then see if they'll chase it again.
Leave it. Yes. Okay, let's try again.
Leave it.
Leave it.
Right now, we're asking for even just a small leave it, but eventually we'll get to the point that we can have them do something else in between before they get that toy back. But right now, I would just focus on them letting go of it for a second and then take it again.
Leave it. Leave it.
Leave it. Leave it. Yes.
Leave it.
And then you say take back or take what?
Yeah, you'd say take it so they can play it again. And like I say, even if you just get like a little softening of the jaw to start off with, like okay, then we can, encourage that. I had to do that with her because she did not know how to let go of anything.
Yes. Take it.
So this would be a similar kind of idea if you have a pup that likes to still grab onto your clothing.
Yes.
Do a similar thing, except that they don't get to take that. They don't get to take it back. I would gather. So say if she's got this bit, nice little demonstration right now. She's gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab it and say leave it. She'll let go, and then I can either give her treats or grab a toy, and then she can still play that way. Similar idea though, that it basically whenever you want to let go of, it goes dead. And I'm not gonna say take it if I don't want to have it back.
Fine.
Yes. Well, sit.
Yeah. Where'd it go, Lena? Where'd it go? Yeah.
Okay.
Not in a playing mood.
He's like, he just wants his food again. I want my calming again, Mom.
Okay. Oh, not my arm.
Yeah.
Go get it. Go get it.
Oh, you cute little puppy. Okay, are you ready?
Good girl.
Leave it.
Good girl.
You have to leave it. Good. You gotta listen when I say leave it. Can you get it out of your mouth? I don't think so. Leave it.
Cinnamon, stay. Okay.
Leave it.
Joy is home. She's.
No, leave it. Leave it.
Cinnamon, come here.
You have to walk away from it. Leave it.
What you could do with Leto is maybe try and gather. She's busy there. If he's got this bit here, bring your hands nice and close so he's got nowhere to go with it and it's kind of boring. His jaw
Okay.
is just there. Without getting your fingers bitten, obviously. He loves that.
Yeah, he really likes to be dragged
He
around.
just gets dragged around. Yeah, it's great.
He likes rags, so we'll play with that.
Leave it.
That works.
Leave it. I can't get it out of his mouth. Leave
That's
it.
fine. Yeah, just leave it. Just wait, even just for like a. And if he's pulling low, I bring it low to the ground, so he doesn't even get that like fun.
Leave it. Leave it.
Good. Take it. I just said good because he stopped. Like he's not biting, but I don't know if he can get it out of his mouth. Like it's kind of hooked in there.
He can. He just doesn't want to. I think he usually can let go. He just doesn't want to right now. So we're just gonna let him know that the moment he says, the moment we let go, yes, and then it's really fun. It's extra fun.
We're not gonna play until you let go.
Yes.
Leave it. Leave it.
Some of them they just like to hold. Gypsy was
Yeah.
like that too. She
He
fell
loves
asleep.
to hold.
She's fallen asleep with toys in her mouth.
Leave it. Leave it. Leave
Leave
it.
it so we can play again.
Yes. Oh, he's. This one's tricky because he likes the rag.
Good.
Well, thank you. If that's what he wants, that's what he wants.
Yes.
Leave it.
What might help with Lisa actually? We'll actually go on to the
Yeah.
next
Leave it.
Leave it.
thing.
Leave it.
Leave it.
No. Leave it.
Yes.
You have to let go. Leave it.
Okay. Yep. Leave.
Leave it.
Leave. Cinnamon, leave.
Leave it.
Leave. Leave.
Yes.
Leave.
Watch me.
No.
Good.
I
Yeah.
like the rag, man. The rag's more fun.
No.
He's holding on to dear life.
Yeah.
Leave it. Yes.
And then take it and make it fun again.
Yes. Good boy.
They get the reward of playing again instead of
Yeah.
like food. I have a good example right now. Gypsy's just destroying, attacking this shoe that I don't want her to
Yes.
attack. So my other leave it would be a leave it, but you don't get this thing back. And in this case, what I'm going to start off with doing is when she has something she's not supposed to have, if I want her to let go of it, what I'm actually going to do is encourage her to let go of it for treats so we can trade to start off with. Down the line, I might be able to trade for a toy, but right now she kind of wants the shoe and she'll probably want this instead. So in this case, what I'm going to do, and to start with, because it's something that I don't want her to really, I don't want to have to wait for her to let go, because if she decides to chew it to death and then let go of it, I don't obviously want that. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to let her have it because she's going to chew. And then I'm actually going to sprinkle some treats to the side of her. And then as she moves her head away from it, I can take that thing away and give her something else, like another toy or more treats back again. What are you doing? So say she has this, she has the shoe, and I want her to let go of it. So I'm just going to take a couple of treats and sprinkle them off.
Leave it.
Sprinkle them off to the side. So if she had the shoe, I'm going to sprinkle them. Yes. And then I'm going to remove it and then give something else. I'm going to wait for her to be consistent at moving her head away before I add that leave it in this case. Because I want her to be comfortable with me taking items off of her.
Good job.
If it's something I can kind of gather up and make less fun, so with shoes and stuff, what I could do is kind of get my hands around it and then say, leave it. And I'm waiting.
Leave it.
Yes. And then we get a treat for that instead.
Yes.
I'm taking that toy away. Does that kind of make sense? Like, if it's something that we really don't want them to be, stop that. No. We really don't want them to have and destroy. So say if it's like an expensive piece of clothing, or if it's like a piece of glass or something that well, not glass, that's very much an emergency, but something that we really don't want them to have, like this morning with the fish. the dead fish that she picked up. I also didn't want to go in and grab that thing and make it go dead. And so I have those treats that I can sort of sprinkle off to the side. She lets go of the fish, grabs the treat so I can kick the fish away. But I'm trading out for it instead. I'm not just taking it off of her. You good? Oopsies, go find it.
Yes. Yes.
Leave it.
Good boy.
Yes. Take it. Yes.
Sit. Leave it. Leave it.
Yeah, so that's basically the different kinds of leave it. What I would also do is practice, and I just noticed the time is actually 12 o'clock. My phone seems to have like jumped. But what I would do is also practice taking things off your pup that they get to have back of high value. So for example, if they really like their chews and things, what I would practice doing is that similar idea. So if they have a chew they really like, they're enjoying the like the no hide chew or whatever, leave it. Practice sprinkling treats to the side. So they let go of it, grab their little treats, and as they've moved their head away, you're gonna take that chew away and then give it right back. So we're also practicing that when I take things from you, most of the time you get them back or you get something better instead. It's just a way of us preventing any of that resource guarding that might happen. If we constantly just take things from our puppy without trading back or giving them something back, the chances are at some point our pups are going to turn around and say, you know what, no thanks, you don't get to have that back, I'm going to keep it. And that's when we can start to see some of that resource guarding happening, where they don't want us to have that thing back and they can get a bit snippy about it. So the more we can encourage them to trust us that, hey, when I take something from you, do you get something better, or you get something as good, or we get to play again, or something good happens, the better that's going to the better that's going to put you in for when you do have to go in and grab that piece of glass that they've grabbed, or that, you know, whatever it is that they've grabbed that they shouldn't have. When you do have to go in and grab it, the more times you've practiced, I take things off, you get good things back, the more it's going to be, oh, that was weird. Normally I get something, but this time I'll let it slide. It's okay, because normally I get something back. So it's a nice way of kind of preventing that resource guarding from happening in the first place. Does that kind of make sense? So this week, as they're chewing on things, go ahead and practice taking things off them, dropping treats nearby, taking it off, giving it back. That's what I would suggest for this week as well as that leave it. Make sense? All good?
Yes.
Perfect. Any other questions? I just realized I looked at my watch and it was like past, and now it's suddenly 12. I don't know how that happened. It's officially the end of class. So do you have any other questions or anything before you go? Okay, perfect. If you have questions in the week about leave it and off and the difference between the different ones and stuff, feel free to put them in that WhatsApp group, and we can answer them that way too. And let me know how the bell training goes and everything else. Yeah. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? Stop biting everything. Someone's overtired. I had to wake her up. Now she's overtired. Okay.
Not gonna play, leave it.
All right then, I'll see you guys next week. Feel free to, like I say, ask questions, send videos, send pictures in the week. I do like seeing them. Gives me something to do. Give me something to enjoy in lockdown.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.
Megan, do share the links.
Yes, I will share them. No problem. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Have a great week.